Wait, which mouse is which here? I'm so confused. Can you move your mouse around?
This mouse is wrong there. I just froze the screen. Okay, so the first thing we talked about is, oh, that's a highlighter. I don't want a highlighter. Can I undo? I wanted the pen. Okay, there we go. So the first thing Cody talked about is the memory speed right here, which was 1866, which has to match the clock speed.
It's pretty expensive too. It's like $500
of the motherboard, right? For it to work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Austin, you're next. Pick anything on there and explain it to us as best as you can. You have to get up and you have to underline it and then explain to us. And any notes, please put off to the right-hand side so that the next person has room.
And you can't
wait on that?
Yes, you're standing up.
I thought I was doing it my own.
No, we're all talking about Mr. Hapner's right now.
Because I'm the best.
If Mr. Hapner can close his laptop and look up at the screen, please.
Where'd you put the pen?
Okay, now that I remember that, I was looking up computer stuff. I just had to look up.
Okay, pick one. Anything you want to up there. Any specification. This is only going to be hard for the last person. Okay, so you're going to pick that. Explain to me what that means to you.
It's got 1.5 volts that takes them for the memory to run.
Okay.
Man,
why is that significant to you? You chose it.
Because he likes power.
Yeah, I like power. Come on now.
So, why did you just choose that?
Because you need to know the voltage to get the right power supply. Yeah. What are you doing with your eyebrows, man?
Do I have to know the voltage to get the right power supply?
No, watts.
Where do you plug the power supply into the memory?
Motherboard.
So we don't plug it into the memory, right? The only thing that's really significant for is to let us know whether it requires more voltage and whether it's going to pull more. Watts. So yeah, kinda. But I would say that is of the things up there on that board, that is the least significant one on there, because really you're not going to buy it because you're not going to not buy it because of what the voltage is.
But you told me to choose anything.
I
know.
Be really bad.
Choose that one.
I really like this one.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's easy though.
It is kind of easy. Let's see what Mr. Behringer picks. Let's see next.
Is Adam up next?
I'm not getting
Boom, 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 boom.
God dang it! Why am I going slow? Or why am I going?
Why am I going slow?
Nobody said you were going last. Okay, so Mr. Behringer picked dim. What does that mean to us?
Dim.
It's the type of memory.
Okay, what does dim stand for?
Dummies and. Oh.
Hey, you.
And anybody who's got a laptop open can look it up if you don't know the answer, so you can help out.
I got
Dynamic.
my notebook for you. Give me a second.
Dynamic.
Independent memory
Module.
Dual inline memory module.
Dual inline memory
Kind of
module.
memory that we use today. Is that really significant?
No.
I hope you guys will pick the things that are significant. We kind of wandering.
You told us to choose anything.
Not really significant because all memory is dim. So I meant to explain something that's significant about this memory that would set it apart from other memory.
If you would have told me, I would have done something else.
I'm up next. I got
Are dims.
I would have done DDR3.
Okay, so it's dual
Hey,
inline
you
memory
back off
module.
my pig,
Okay,
alright?
so we'll go ahead and let Mr. Wellman go next.
Bull.
Take
DDR3 down, but check my notebook down.
Danny, take DDR3 Do it.
If you put it on the chair, please don't do that again. Put it either on the
Take
shelf there
DDR3,
or
Danny.
something.
Take
He's
it.
coming, Danny. Don't
So something
Do
that's
it.
significant when we're looking at our memory.
It's worth it.
The megahertz is definitely significant. The fact that it's a DIMM that uses 1.5 volts.
It's worth it.
Nothing really. I mean, yes.
timing, Danny.
If I knew I was limited on my power supply right now and I was at the edge of it, I might want to pick a lower voltage RAM. But that really normally doesn't push our decisions. And the fact that it's a DIMM, we'll get to that. I'm going to take that back. The fact that it says DIMM is not insignificant.
Okay, so my voltage is though.
No, yours is. But if it says, what could it say other than DIMM right there? What could it say other than DIMM?
SD RAM.
No.
DIMM.
What could it say other than DIMM?
On, I got this.
DIMM with a minus an M.
Anybody know what the other
EMC.
kind of memory socket
RAM.
is today?
RAM.
Today.
RAM.
That's what it is. It's or
Today. Today, that's old.
Well, you should
No, today they're either DIMMs or they're either DIMMs or they're code nemesis or they're
Sim.
Kim.
or they're SODIMMs.
So dim.
If it says SODIM,
Those are so dim.
what's it for?
A server.
Like the old school.
This is not a trick question. You need to know this on your exam.
Small
Tablet.
footprint ACs. Mini ITX motherboard.
It stands for Small Outline Dual Inline Memory Module. And what uses a small outline dual inline memory module?
A mini
A
ITX.
laptop. Okay? So that's the difference right here. If it says, so this was a good one. I take it back, Mr. Berger. DIM means it's for a desktop. If it said SODIM, it would be for a laptop. So
How much
can any
goes on
PC
laptop?
take a SODIM?
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, what PC specifically in this school system takes a SODIM?
Our
Let's
servers,
make a guess.
laptops.
This one right here.
I didn't say laptop. All the laptops do. MacBooks do.
Mr.
But
Pool's
what
computer.
PC
These.
in this? Those are laptops.
Mr. Pool
These.
does.
Not mine. No.
The mini ones.
The one in the high school.
Oh, the cafeteria.
Cafeteria ones take
Nailed it.
SODIMs, okay? Because those are really. Netbooks is in a box. That is a netbook motherboard.
Just took mine.
So when you look at this, if it says DIM, it means it's for a standard desktop PC. SODIM, the small outline dual inline memory module, the small ones go in laptops. Now, Mr. Woman, I'll take it back to get your feet off my
Come
seat.
back, Danny.
I have bad eyesight, so I don't know which one I'm choosing.
Good job, Danny.
Got him.
I'm going down.
How
Danny,
much
Danny,
did-
just fall down. Hey, fall down, like, put it in your orbit.
Okay, so explain to us.
Do it,
What's
do
that
it,
mean?
Oh,
Tell us some
My
stuff.
notebook for it.
It's what?
He took my notebook.
It tells you what type of memory.
Okay, what?
It's double data rate
3. Okay, so it's third generation. So if I said what generation of RAM does this motherboard take, you would say
Third gen.
third gen. Okay.
First gen.
Okay, so is DDR3 3 times faster than DDR?
No.
It has nothing to do with it, okay? DDR3 means third generation, so you need to make sure that when we go to find our motherboard, or vice versa, that it's the same, okay? What does DDR3 also refer to?
The maximum. I mean the minimum.
It also refers to the
Oh, the notch.
form factor. The notch, so the form factor to make sure it physically fits, because we changed form factors
So what
when
I
we
said was
switched
not
generations. Okay, so it's DDR3, it's third generation DDR. Mr. Lee,
What up?
you're next.
Where's my notebook?
I got Ninja started with his notebook.
Whatever.
Dude, look at that. I just made new headphones.
Alright, give me a
You guys
second.
don't even know. Look at this.
I can't
Give us something.
I can't read this. It's too
Pick something.
small. I'm trying.
Stop being a little girl.
Is that total memory size?
Look at
No.
this. Just made new headphones, dude.
Okay, so that's basically saying how much RAM you're buying.
That's right.
Okay, so is it better to have more or less?
It's got
Would you necessarily want 64 gig in every motherboard if it could take it?
Yes.
Why? No, no is the right answer.
No.
No, why? Why is 64 gig too big for some things that you use normally? Would 64 gig do anything in the laptops we're on right now?
No,
Why?
because they're
I'd just be
on
wasting it.
Because they're what?
Windows
Because they're Windows XP,
and it's
32-bit, which is
and it's
limited to how much RAM?
3.5 or 4.
4 gig of RAM.
But
So
how-
it depends on what your operating system is, whether you're buying the right amount of memory. If we were going to use a 32-bit operating system, this 64 gig of RAM that we picked out would do nothing except for waste 60 gig of RAM.
Will it say like when you're buying the operating system?
That's always true. If it's a 32-bit operating system,
I
it
mean,
can only
will
do
it
4.
say like if it's a 64-bit or not?
Yes, it'll say somewhere on the box. It'll say Windows 7 64-bit or Windows 7. If it just says Windows 7, it's probably 32-bit. Okay?
So no.
I have Windows 64-bit on my PC and Windows 7 32-bit on all my kids' PCs at home, because a lot of the games don't work on 64-bit stuff. They're starting to, but they didn't always.
Wait, 732-bit. What's that?
Windows 7 32-bit,
Oh.
because Windows 7 comes as either a 32 or a 64-bit operating system. When you buy it, it says it on the box.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see who hasn't gone yet that wants to go next.
Bob Sager.
Your arm was up before Chase's, so Chase is going to get the last one up here.
Wow, Chase, show some initiative next time. You dumb.
What did you pick? I don't even remember.
You dumb idiot.
Oh, yeah, that's so long out of memory.
You big dumb.
You're welcome.
Chase, you big dumb. Idiot. Circle something good.
Oh God, this sucks.
Do the timing.
Wait, I want some. Did Josh do memory size?
No? Is it circled or underlined?
No.
No, it's not.
Okay, so tell us about that.
It's the size that's in the memory, like the space that's for like your memory. So like this 8 by. Oh God, that's a really small number.
8,000.
8,192 megabytes.
So what is that?
So like,
No, I mean 8,192 megabytes is really saying it's
8 gigabytes.
means each stick is 8 gig. Okay, so that's what it's saying. Say this is a 64 gig package. Each one is 8 gig. Why is that significant to know that each one is 8 gig?
because if it's too big, if it's not big enough for the motherboard, then it'll be.
Is it possible for the stick to be too big for the motherboard?
No.
Wait,
I can have too much.
yeah. Maybe.
I'll show you one in a second. Totally possible that you pick. I show you a motherboard that takes 1866 DDR3 that this stick will not go in. There are many motherboards out there that the individual slots can only do 2 or 4 gig of RAM. Okay? So when I say, will this memory work with this motherboard, you have to look at the memory type. Is it DDR3? The speed, does it take 1866? The size, will it take an 8 gig stick?
This is complicated.
Okay, you have to look at all those things on the questions on your test on Thursday. Okay,
On
so yes,
Thursday?
it's got 8 gig sticks. Why it wrote them out as megabytes, I have no idea. It would have been easier to say as 8 gig, but that's okay. So who hasn't gone yet? Chase.
Race. Mountain climber.
They're here squeaking.
Okay, Chase is going to do our cast latency, also abbreviated as
I thought you were doing it.
CL.
CL. It also can show it as CL. It doesn't have to be written out as cast latency. What does that mean? Okay, the number of times it takes to go around motherboard to write to the memory, because it's going at 1,866,000 or 1,866,000,000. Yes, that's 1,866 meg. That's 1,866,000,000 times a second. You can't write it on one trip. It's too fast. So it takes 10 trips to write it. So is a low cast better or a high cast? Lower is better. Okay. If it didn't show the cast latency and it only showed the timing of 10, 10, 10, 10, which one of those 10s is the CL?
The last one.
First one.
The first one.
Okay. So I guarantee you, I will give you one. Say, what is the CL of this memory? And I'll give you one that doesn't list the CL. And you will have to look at the timing and know that it is the first number that is the answer. Okay?
Some good memory.
So what's left on here? Of these specs, the only one left is the number of pins. Does all desktop memory have 240 pins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laptop memory has how many pins?
I don't know.
240.
If I wanted to buy a SODIMM for a DDR3, it would have 204 as opposed to 240. So if I saw 204, I know it's laptop. If I see laptop, I know it's laptop. If I say SODIMM, I know it's laptop. I am saying that 3 times because I guarantee you I will try to trick you.
You want some soda?
On the test, I will give you a laptop and ask if it can take this memory and it will be a DIMM. Or I will give you a desktop and say if you can take this memory and it will be a SODIMM. Okay? I'm going to bring up a motherboard right now so we can look at a couple different motherboards and whether things will work with it, okay? So, Cody, please leave this one on your computer so we can come back to it if we need to.
Yes, my fine sir. Dude, I got an itch.
Scratch it.
That's what I'm doing, Josh.
Did I go off this?
Hey, come give me some love, Josh.
Alright.
You looking at phones?
Yeah.
4 picks, 1 word. What's the word? I have no idea what this is. There's some fine people here.
Dude, you guys ever
Some
seen
chairs.
Bangle kittens? Forearms is what I think that is. 4 row. White.
Here's a typical motherboard, and I would give you a link to this and ask you if this memory that Mr. Hapter picked would work with this specific motherboard.
No.
So, question number 1, the first thing you always look at is this one. Is it the right socket type?
Yes.
Okay, so it is the right socket type. Will it support the speed of that memory?
I can't read that. Is that 8?
It's
6?
1066.
It's 1066, 813.33.
No.
Will it support it? Okay, right there it failed. Let's say it hadn't failed. Let's say it theoretically says, this one says 1866. Would it work in this motherboard?
Yes.
No. Okay?
No.
Because the max memory supported per slot
It's 4 gigabytes.
is 4 gig. And you have to look. Stop putting your feet on my seat. Oh. Actually, I'm not going to sit back down.
I thought you just said you wouldn't sit back down.
Okay, so you have to look, not only do I have to look at the type, not only do I have to look at the speed, not only do I have to look at the number of pins, I also have to look to see if it supports that much memory. Please put down your tablet and stop playing games.
Danny.
It wasn't Danny this time. Danny's like, I'm innocent. What is the one thing we didn't mention yet that we have to look at as well that will keep memory from working if I pick out a stick of memory and say, will it work on this PC?
The
memory type.
No.
We already said that. Memory type, we've got
The maximum
DDR3.
memory supported.
I already said that. We asked the memory per
The
slot.
CPU.
No.
If it's compatible with CPU.
It needs to be compatible with the motherboard, and therefore it would be compatible with the CPU. I'm going to bring up another motherboard and see what we see here. I'm going to freeze it so you can't see my searching.
What?
Okay, so let's say I was looking at this particular motherboard. What is the significant thing on this motherboard that will drive what kind of memory that I can get when I look at it? And I need to make sure, because if I put the wrong kind in, it's not going to work. So I can see that it takes DDR3, because it says PC3. If it's DDR3, it's PC3, okay? So it takes DDR3, specifically PC3 10,600, 8,500, and 6,400, okay? But what's the next line say that's the significant thing here?
The speed.
The fact that it's ECC, okay? This is a server motherboard, and that's the one thing. If it takes ECC RAM, what is normal desktop RAM? What is normal desktop RAM?
Non-ECC.
Non-ECC. Normal desktop RAM is
He
non-ECC.
told me to look.
Okay? So, if we can assume, unless it says otherwise, that memory is non-ECC. If we need it to be ECC, it will specifically list that it takes ECC. And ECC makes it faster or slower?
Slower.
Slower. Cheaper or more expensive?
Cheap.
More
More
expensive.
expensive. Why?
Because it's a
Because it
server.
has another line of code, because it's more memory.
It takes more memory, there's code involved with it, it slows it down every time it reads and writes from it, which is why it's normally only used on a server. Look how much this motherboard is.
That's nothing.
That's
Yeah!
That's
pocket
like a
change.
truck.
It takes two processors there. Look how much
Did
RAM.
anybody
It
buy
takes
it?
96 gig
Pocket
of RAM on this motherboard.
How much? Like, what's the most?
Holy moly. $5,000. Who's gonna? Oh, that's for a pack of 10 though. It's really not that bad. Okay, didn't see that. So if you're gonna build 10 motherboard or 10 servers, it's still $500 though.
That would be an incredible server, like the ones they use for the Elder Scrolls Online.
Dude, I doubt if they use those.
So
Did you know-
I would not doubt that they use it. So I was looking at other ones that I was trying to find.
Different servers.
At least it makes me. This was a 10-pack for only 2,300.
Uh-oh, now there's online shopping about it.
I'm not shocked. So this one again, it uses ECC, unbuffered. Oh, we didn't talk about that. Dual channel memory. What now on the ICANN statements it talked about dual channel, but we're really talking about dual, tri, or quad channel memory. What does that mean? What is that significance of that?
Dual? Like, when you have dual channel memory, don't you have to buy like dual memory sticks, like a dual
If it
package?
takes dual channel, you want to get the most performance out of your motherboard and your PC. You want to buy matching memory capable of dual channel, which means that basically it synchronizes on the read and the write and it does it faster. Okay? So if you can, do you have to? No. It will work on these particular Dells right here. If you put in the memory wrong, and you could put it in dual channel and you don't, it has a warning that says your memory is not configured for the optimal specifications of this motherboard. Please consider changing your memory, and you get an F1 to bypass, and I'll never mention it again. Still works, just doesn't work as well as it could if you put it in the other way.
Then you cry yourself to sleep.
Okay, and will you really notice? I don't know. I suppose you will, or they wouldn't even make it, right? So, have I ever done a test to test it? No, I have not.
You should.
Okay,
You should.
so let's go through the ICANN statements that you just redid.
I'm so hungry.
And specifically for your class, I can explain what RAM does and how it works.
No, I can't.
Now, there's 7 people here. I guess that's okay. So everybody answers. So one person said they can't. So what is RAM for?
I said no to all.
Why?
I never really. I said yes to all.
Okay, so RAM stands for
Random access
random
memory.
access memory. It's the primary storage for the
CPU.
CPU reads and writes everything from there, okay? If it needs something from a hard drive, it gets read from the hard drive, written into memory, and then the CPU talks to it. CPU's a snob. It only wants to talk to RAM.
What a little.
The rest of you guys talk to the ham. I only talk to the RAM,
What a
okay?
little.
So the more RAM you have, the faster your system is going to appear to go. Even the CPU doesn't go any faster or slower, but it might be waiting on the RAM to get the information to it, okay? So RAM works as that workspace for the CPU. The other workspace the CPU uses is
What?
the other workspace the CPU uses is
Cache.
cache memory. Okay, it's also memory. It's cache memory. Okay, so of cache memory, we have which one is cache memory? Static or dynamic RAM?
Static.
Okay, cache memory is static. Is it faster or slower?
Faster.
Faster. Is it more expensive or less expensive?
More expensive.
It's more expensive and it's faster. That's why it only exists in small quantities on CPUs. Dynamic RAM is slightly slower and much cheaper, and that's what exists in our CPU as our sticks of RAM. Our sticks of RAM are SD RAM. What does the S and the D stand for?
Static. S and D.
Okay, it's not static dynamic RAM. Okay, that's what first block said too. Static RAM is in cache, not in our system memory. The SD stands for
Super data rate.
Wait.
synchronous.
Synchronous dynamic data rate.
Okay, it's synchronous and dynamic. In other words, it synchronizes with our motherboard. It's dynamic, meaning it has to be completely rewritten over and over and over again. Static RAM, when the CPU writes the static RAM, it doesn't have to rewrite it. It stays there as long as there's power. Okay, until it erases it, rewrites it. But when it writes the dynamic, the memory controller has to continually rewrite it, and rewrite it, and rewrite it, and rewrite
Who
it.
came
Okay.
up with memory?
What's the difference between RAM and ROM?
Read only.
Random access.
Read only and write only.
Okay. Random access has to be continually written. It takes power to maintain. Okay. Read-only memory requires no power. When it's written there, it stays there until we erase it or rewrite it, which can be done with read-only memory. Okay. Okay, I just talked about dual channel memories. Anybody have any questions on that?
Nope.
Yep.
He said no.
Oh, okay. Explain what L1, L2, L3 cache is. We beat that to the ground since CPU, and everybody said they understand it. Okay. Error checking code and parity is for
Servers.
servers. Okay, we don't have it on a normal PC.
I have it in mine.
It's different ways that it checks the memory as it reads and writes it every time to make sure that the data is good. What CAS latency and RAS latency are?
I don't know what RAS latency is.
It's the, okay, so this is column and that's row. Memory is like a big Excel spreadsheet. It can write it in columns and rows. It's the same thing. Everybody just refers to the CAS latency, not the RAS latency, because the numbers are almost always exactly the same. Okay, so we only talk in the terms of CL. Lower number is better. It's how many cycles of the motherboard it takes to write to that memory. Okay. Explain how memory speeds are measured. How are they measured? In
Hertz, megahertz.
Okay, they're measured in megahertz. Memory quantity is measured in
Gigahertz, gigabytes.
gigabytes. Okay, it's measured in bytes, sometimes megabytes, sometimes gigabytes. The quantity is in bytes, speed is in hertz. Okay? I can tell what memory to purchase for a specific motherboard, and that was the purpose of the video that none of you watched.
I watched it.
Okay? So I'm going to go through it. It's down here under memory, under memory scanner. And by the way, I just made a new section that I'm going to put the blended learning stuff down here under blended learning assignments. You'll have a blended learning video every Tuesday. Plan on it for every Tuesday.
Why do we have
Okay?
that?
That's the subject of a separate conversation. That's the purpose of the grant. They got us the tablets and the new Wi-Fi and everything else.
We don't use tablets.
Okay.
I love the tablets.
So anyways, I'm going to put them down here. I will have them up. I will have them up top. They will always be up top when they're assigned, right here. The next one you have to do is the very top. I expect you to do it. The first two are formative in nature. The rest of them are summative. In other words, they will impact your grade much more. Have them done before you come to class. I'm telling you right now, there'll be one for every Tuesday, and I will have it up by Thursday. Okay, so you'll have at least Friday and Monday to do it if you don't have internet at home. You don't have to do it on your tablet. You can do it if you have a desktop with Wi-Fi at home. Okay? So anyways, that was to show you how to use the memory scanner, which is right here.
I did watch this video.
The crucial memory scanner, and took the test and answered the
Yeah,
questions.
because I was the only one that watched it. Remember?
No, this was a different one. That was a different one.
But I did this.
Okay, maybe you did. I don't know.
I'm done.
So here's how you use the scanner. The advantage of using the scanner is what?
To scan your memory. To see what type of memory you take.
What's the advantage of doing this over breaking open your motherboard?
Because you don't have to do that.
Because you don't have to do that. It's much easier. So to do it, you have to click on, I understand, blah, blah, blah. You click download the scanner, you run, and you hit run, and then it's going to do a scan of your computer. And it had to download that because it had to install software to do the scan to tell you what you've got. Okay? Now it's a great tool. I'm not saying you should necessarily buy the software here. Okay, so it's coming up on my PC, and it says I've got 2 full slots and 2 empty slots. So I know I can upgrade without throwing away what I've already got, which is a big thing. If you've got 2 slots and they're both full, that means if you want to upgrade, you have to throw away stuff you've already got, which stinks, right?
No.
Or if you had 1 full slot, you know that I could. If I only had 1 slot that had memory in it, I'm asking Mr. Wellman this question. If I only had 1 slot and had 2 gig of memory in it, what should I buy for this other slot?
Wait, does it have another slot? Or
Let's say it has 1 other slot and it's empty.
you should get 2?
Okay. I should try
To get the same.
to get the exact same thing.
So sync up.
I should get the exact same speed and everything to get it to work dual channel. Okay, if I can. Unless I've got really stinky RAM in there and I want to just throw it out anyway.
It just smells
Okay,
so bad.
so right now this recommends.
Chase.
Here's the thing. Look at what we got right here. Look what it's recommending. It recommends that I buy 2 4 gig sticks for 8 gig total to put in there for $139. Now I'm running Windows XP 32-bit. Will that do anything for me?
No.
No, because I already got 4 gig. But let's say I'm not. Let's say I'm going to run a 64-bit operating system. So it's saying to use DDR2 6067. What is the speed of this RAM in megahertz?
What is it?
What is the speed of this memory right here? It's DDR2, 2nd generation DDR, PC2, 5300, cast latency of 5, unbuffered, non-ACC, DDR2 667. What is the speed in megahertz of this RAM?
Pro.
667.
667.
That is slow.
Okay, but I can click right here and show all compatible memory. This actually will take up to, where's it at? Right here. It'll take up to 1066. So I could buy 667, or I could buy 1066.
That is the better idea.
That
And
is
it's
better.
cheaper.
Look, and it's cheaper.
But it's
so
also
don't just, it's less. That had 2 4s up here, okay, that it was recommending.
They just want you to spend your money.
They want you to spend your money.
Josh.
Okay? So, I'm not saying this is the best deal. The other thing is, I can go to Newegg and find the exact same stick of memory. Look, crucial, exact same stick of memory, $66.
What an idiot.
Okay? So, I could save $5 someplace else. So, my point is, this is a great scanner.
Look, and you can get the
It's a
flash.
great scanner. Where's it at? Where am I at? There we go. It's a great scanner. It's a great tool. Oh, what did I close it?
Did you say
Oh,
scanner
right
or
there.
scanner?
Scanner. It's a great memory scanner. I'm not saying I wouldn't buy my memory there. I'm just saying shop around after you do. Okay? And don't just believe what it says up top, because it was recommending the slowest memory for my PC.
I'm not even doing anything funny.
And if it takes up to 1066,
Because he, whenever he sees you with that, he just closes it.
Dude, who invented memory?
okay, questions on the memory scan. When I assign stuff ahead of time, I really want you to watch it and to answer your question with the blended learning stuff. That's the whole idea of this, that we add blended learning. I gotta go ahead and pause here. And I